o'clock. Let's get started. Good afternoon and welcome to the July Historic Preservation Commission meeting. There's agendas up front. If you don't already have a copy, you're welcome to do so. I would encourage you to read the statement at the bottom. It tells you a little bit more about our purpose and why we're here. We're going to, if you've looked at the agenda, it has annual business as number one. For the sake of you all in your time, we're going to move that to the end so you all don't have to witness that. You're welcome to stay if you like, but anyways. Having said that, do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Sorry, I should have also welcomed our newest member here, Palmer Ferguson, sitting to my left. Welcome.
Aye. Happy to be here.
All right, first item on the agenda is, or second item rather, sorry, is the request from Derek Diver, to paint 1312 Clay Street. Are you here, Mr. Diver? If you wouldn't mind, come forward and have a seat in the chair. For the record, state your name and address and tell us what it is you'd like to do, please.
1312 Clay Street. I'm Derek Diver. I would like to paint it different. That's kind of a Photoshop of what it would look like, essentially, give or take. Eve had said that the style of house I have, I can't remember what it's called. I'd call it generic. Walmart version of historic homes, I'm not sure. But that blue, yellow, and gray are the common colors that are readily approved for that home. The only thing is, on that particular street, there's 6 or 7 blue homes or gray, and the home directly across from me is massive and it's yellow. And today, or Saturday, I was there and I pulled off some paneling on it. On the backside, I have enclosed porches, and I'm assuming they've been there 50 years or more. I actually brought a piece of wood. I don't know how current that paint job was, but it appears to be some sort of brown or some kind of rusty red that was under it. I don't want either of those colors either, but it wasn't blue, yellow, or gray. So I don't know. Currently, it's like a light pink, I guess, with something faded, salmon maybe, I'm not sure. The color I picked is, if you envision going to like a paint store and there's 4 or 5 colors on a paint chip, if this was the lightest color, I'm trying to sort of guess on going 3 or so up. That would look good with the brick homes to the left and kind of be unique and not look like a blue or gray home that surrounds me. So that's kind of, color sounds weird, plum dandy, but I think I also have the actual paint swatch here if you want to pass it around. It's the bottom color.
Diversity's good, generally speaking.
Yeah, I'm not like married to the color by any means. It's just that whole street looks like the same houses over. I mean, not technically, it's a lot of different blues and grays, but.
It's listed as Builder's Corner Revival. It could also be a restrained Queen Anne, too. I mean, it's in the same era, right? Late 19th century, you're thinking? Do you know
It's
when it was
like
built?
1905 or
Okay,
6, I guess.
turn of the century, okay.
It doesn't have quite the same details as a lot of the neighboring homes.
Mhm.
It's kind of plain without the porch, basically, but.
And you're gonna do your door that color?
I'd like to. That is the original. I want to use the original door. I have a piece of plywood over it now, so I don't beat the heck out of it,
Is that
taking
just
stuff-
stained?
Yeah, I was just
Natural wood? Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna take off all the layers of paint
Okay.
and stain it. You can't see in this picture, but there's a second door behind that bush. So there's 2 front doors. They don't match each other. The one on the right has it's like a half glass, and then it has a kind of like a glass transom above it that's just been replaced with plywood at this point. But I would like to do the same with that door. I'd like to get it down to its original wood and stain it so they match.
I like it, Mr. Chairman.
Is that a motion?
I mean, if we want to discuss a little bit, but, slipping into the Queen Anne, it likes to be a little vibrant and funky, and I think it's quite appropriate.
Yeah.
I'd even encourage you, the little gable in the very top, if you wanted to make that some complement and brighter,
Yeah,
that'd
okay.
be fun too.
I was intending to keep all the trim, white.
Yeah, that,
Same with the,
But you were thinking
porch.
about the surrounding shingles in the very top, you were thinking about a different
yeah,
color
the little
accent.
shingles in the pediment,
Yeah,
yeah. You could do, I'd do that, but
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve the color as submitted.
I would second.
All right, further discussion? No? All right, let's take a vote. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it sounds like Plum Dandy's gonna work. Thank
you
you.
very much.
Could be Plum Loco.
Yeah. I don't know who picked paint color names, but.
Right. All right, next on the agenda is Mr. Calfee and, let's see Casey's name on here.
Yeah, we're here this month.
You know who you are? Yeah.
Sorry. I apologize for missing last time.
Oh, Calfee and Hanson LLC. Sorry.
Yeah, I had a
Thank you.
funeral, and Tyler sat in for me last time. And Casey was out as well, so we were both on the phone, but thank you guys.
If you would, please state your name for the record and the address of the property, and then tell us what you're here to propose.
Daryl Calfee, Calfee and Hanson LLC. It's currently 307 Hancock, and it will be 309.
Currently 317.
317, it'd be 309 and 313 Hancock.
And I'm Casey Service, the architect for the project. And we were here, well, we were in absentia last month, but discussed, this is 2 new construction, single-family homes, and came away with a long list of adjustments, and the vast majority, we just went straight with what the commission said, and there were, I think, 3.5 items that were either sort of left a little bit in the air, or were sort of coming back with us, an in-between alternate between what was requested last month and what we came with. So those, the items that are slightly different than what were just direct changes from the commission's comments are the roof. I think the shingles, we've got the slate line that was discussed. We've got samples for you all to look at, and maybe hopefully give an approval to. And then the gutters and downspouts, I know the request was to have half round gutters, but in looking at it and, just from experience, the half rounds tend to be not as efficient. And so we're asking to keep the K-style OG gutters, but switch to round downspouts, which is the actual spot part that you'll see. The gutters are largely up, and they'll be the same color as the trim, so they'll largely go away. The rear deck, I think there's a little confusion because we weren't here talking about not being like a residential deck. And to clarify that, I did change it to show that we'll stain it with an opaque stain so that it becomes more of a painted finish. And we'll try and match the foundations so that it blends. And everything else is in keeping with what the design guidelines say, with pickets that are 3 inches on center instead of the 4.5 that code would allow. They're 2x2, which is the size prescribed by the guidelines, with larger posts and a 2x4 top plate. But I think largely just by making it, using an opaque stain, it'll just sort of blend. And while it is visible from Rivermont, I think, Eve, you included a picture from Bacon Street.
It's a good ways.
It's over 200 feet. That white sign in the backgrounds of where the front of the house will be, and it'll come down the hill a little bit. But they'll be off in the distance. That's what they'll be. That's what you'll see on Deep Street.
Steve, is there an aerial you can get on that? Thanks.
And then I think the last item was the windows, which I tried to get samples, and they weren't gonna get here till later this week. I went over to Taylor Brothers and took a couple pictures. Of course, they had black sample for the metal clad and white for the vinyl, so it's not the best side by side. But we were proposing, since we switched the rear door to match the front door, we decided we'd sort of keep the front and back the same with metal clad, and are asking for vinyl windows on the side elevations. That will largely be, hidden by the houses themselves and not as visible. And I think everything else is per the conversation.
Any questions?
Yeah, so what are the items that we're addressing today? I mean, I don't have a clear indication.
I mean, I think all of these items we're addressing, but everything that I did not talk about is we took what was requested by the commission last month and made those changes to the drawings.
Okay.
Last meeting, the item was tabled so that
Mhm.
everything could be approved at
Yep.
once. The items that are highlighted in yellow are what have changed from the last meeting, in order to address the comments that the commission made.
Okay.
Yeah, so as everything that we asked for, except for the few things you talked about.
Yeah, everything that isn't yellow, I believe
Yeah.
you all were okay with last month, so.
I think you did a nice job addressing those. I'd argue that the vinyl windows are gonna be not a price breaker, and it would seem like the quality that you're gonna pick up on those is gonna be worth it. I think the last time, young man kind of made a statement, we're trying to hit the affordable market, and
Mhm.
kind of say that just up the hill from Point of Honor, one of the premier houses of the city, and on a street that has some pretty darn nice houses up and down the street.
Well, so that was the one, I went back and looked, and both historically and now, there's really not a lot on Hancock. Now, and if you go back and look at the Sanborns, they were very clearly like smaller row houses, like a
Yeah,
lot of
I mean,
them.
worker houses, I mean, you're
Yeah.
fitting into you're in the right
Yeah,
vocabulary.
yeah.
Overall, I mean,
Yeah.
the massing and the placement, I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
It's just
I
I think over time,
yeah,
if
probably
you sell
eventually.
them, that's not gonna be your problem over time. If you
Yeah.
rent them, they will be.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think, those
Yeah.
vinyl windows, they're just not at the same level of quality that you're gonna find, and I think typically we like to see the historic district be as high quality as possible, and yes, we have, the guidelines say we can have, vinyl on rear. Still like to see the good ones, so that's the only thing again, I applaud your approach to everything that you've
Appreciate
done.
that. Thank you.
And, I think from a guideline standpoint, we can't whack you in the knee on that one. It's just if you will.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for doing all those changes. You'd be better off longer term, putting in the aluminum clad on the sides, not just putting vinyl there. As a person who put vinyl into his 1960 home and has the problem with condensation between some of the windows already, and they're only 12 years old, vinyl is not great. I'm not a fan, and we went high end, and it's still, but it's so wonderful that you're building those houses there. So,
Love seeing new construction in the
Yep.
district.
so I'm personally ready to vote, but I don't want to keep anyone else from saying what they need to say.
Yeah, I think the only point is the windows.
everything else looks great.
I
Do
would
we-
note that the guidelines say for use at rear that is not readily visible, so sides may still be visible. Not the interior sides, since they'll block each other, but the exterior sides,
The side facing D Street is very visible. It is.
and then the other side as well, if you're
Yeah.
coming down Hancock.
Something for you
We,
to strongly
yeah,
consider.
okay.
Well, if I'm hearing you though, Eve, that is in our purview, that, yeah. Do we have a motion?
Whose district is this?
It was Shanda's.
Oh, of course. I'd move to accept as submitted and revised. I think we're in good shape. We've gotten, again, it's new construction. It's setting a nice tone for new construction.
Mhm.
And I'd move to approve as submitted.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Really, thank you for all the effort you put in to what we suggested. Good luck.
No problem. We're excited to get started.
Breaking ground tomorrow?
Everything's done except for this. We walked it, Saturday. We've got to move some dirt for some basements, but we'll start. Yeah.
And there's plenty,
I guess one thing, did we talk about color last time? I don't.
Yes. and-
Okay, I'm not remembering.
Yes, there's the rendering in there,
Alright.
colors
Yeah.
and paint colors and everything.
Okay.
there's
And
plenty,
The only color that, the stain color for the deck,
right.
we'll just have to,
Yeah.
once it sort of gets in.
Yeah, not an issue.
And there's some other empty lots over there, just ripe for development down the road.
We've got well, hopefully sooner rather than later, we've got the rest of this lot, well, the original part.
Yeah, the part closest to the bridge, we'd really like to get somebody locked in to be a long-term tenant there for the commercial building, and it's gonna be
Yeah,
a fun
so
project.
fingers crossed that'll be here sooner rather
You
than
say
later.
commercial, actual commercial or residential multi?
No, it'd be
Actual, fingers crossed.
Yeah, okay.
We can get somebody.
Sweet.
That'd
be good.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for working.
All right, so now we'll switch or catch up with item number 1, the annual elections. I guess they're annual business, the election of the chair and vice chair.
So if anyone has nominations for chair,
I do. I nominate Michael as chair and Emmett as vice, but we'll work on that. I guess we'll go.
yeah, well, let's
One
start
at a
with
time,
chair,
yeah,
yep,
sure.
and then we'll move on to vice chair. Does anyone second that?
Oh, I second that.
All right, can we have a vote?
Michael,
Any
Is there no
discussion?
discussion or anything?
Yeah, we
or-
can have discussion if you want. If you can convince everyone not to vote
Well,
for you.
I don't know if everyone was here before we were speaking and it was off the record, but I am selling my home in the city. I don't know where I'm landing. If it is outside the city, then I would have to vacate any role I have on this board.
If we elect you, are you gonna move into the city?
I don't know.
Don't elect you, are you gonna move?
I don't know where I'm
That's a
landing.
bigger question.
Yeah, vice
I'm
versa.
just making that known. So, yeah,
Okay.
That's still gonna take time.
yeah.
We'll
well,
cross
yeah,
that bridge when
I
we come to
don't-
it then.
Okay,
Are you all right with that?
for now, yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, can we have a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone not in favor? Okay. Congrats, Mike. You can continue on with the vice chair election.
Okay, yeah, so we need to, are there any nominations for vice chair?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I would like to nominate Austin, England, so, to be vice chair.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Emmett.
I think procedure-wise, I'll
We-
take one at a
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Is there a
Mhm,
second
Yeah,
That's right.
for
for
Is
Austin.
there a second for the first nominee?
Second?
Any discussion, or are you on board?
Well, I would have to do some homework. I'm not unwilling, but I am not familiar with the role at all. So there is that.
It's fairly
Oh.
procedural.
Yeah, essentially you'd fill in if Mike isn't able to come to a meeting, you would act as chair in that case, and then,
Mike's very good about being here, so.
Right.
It's a rare occasion.
unless he
And
moves.
I thank you, Peter, for your nomination. I would rather see somebody other than me, mainly because I yap too much. And as chair, I would feel like I would not want to talk as much, just to, I don't know,
You wouldn't want to abuse your power.
that'd be
Yeah.
good. I just, boards I've served on in the past, the chair has only voted in the incidence of a tie.
Mm.
And here we have not done that. I don't know if that's,
We're a smaller commission, so chair is able to vote.
I guess that's an issue. And so I guess coming from that background, I would not want to be the chair thinking of that kind of format. But anyway, I think Austin would be stunning, particularly from the standpoint of a nice long-term situation.
So I suppose you both know each other from a professional basis?
Austin?
Yes.
No, actually, I don't. I met him the first time when he joined the commission. I don't, but I know the reputation of Poplar Forest, and so being there, I am very comfortable with his skill set, just from the knowledge of, I knew Travis that was there forever, and, was a good friend, and was on this board for a good period of time, and served well. So I just think from that standpoint, from the Poplar Forest standpoint, background, that brings a lot of credence to the board. And
Yeah.
I know the board requires one architect.
Minimum,
And
uh-huh.
one professional, like historian of
Yeah,
some sort.
there's
I don't know how
there's a
you
couple
define-
of different roles, but
you
it,
define that, and we now have two with Palmer joining a second architect, and I like the non-architect sitting as not the chair. That's a proper English statement.
There you go.
Any further discussion?
Simply, I still prefer myself Emmett, having come to know him. We have a newcomer, and so just from the lack of experience serving, and I would still nominate Emmett myself.
Okay, let's take a vote on the nominee. All in favor?
Of which one? You mean Austin?
Sorry, Austin, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, technically, we only have one motion on the
Right.
table, so, yeah, sorry. But, yeah, all in favor on voting Austin as vice chair?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed?
Oppose.
Okay, it looks like the ayes have it. Welcome, Austin. Any further yeah,
so I don't have any proposed changes to the bylaws, just put it on there as an opportunity if anyone had any comments or anything. But if not, we can move on to advocates. If anyone wants to change their advocate, now would be the opportune time, since we have full commission. Right now, I think everyone is listed as the same. I put Palmer as Daniels Hill because that's what Shanda was, so. Other than that, that's all I have.
so from the order then, did anybody come prepared with any issues or talking points around the bylaws?
We did talk about visiting the whole guidelines package at one time.
So that's different than the bylaws, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'll shut it down.
okay.
And did anybody want to change or discuss the area they represent?
I'm I was the president of the Friends of Vermont Historical Society when it existed. I worked on a website about Rivermont. I was very happy to be moved to Lower Middle Rivermont. So I'm very happy where I am, so.
And I'm
Okay.
Great.
Nothing else to discuss then, Eve? We're
Nope,
safe
that's
to
all I
adjourn?
have.
All right, let's adjourn. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yay.
And thanks to the two of you for your willingness to serve.
Yes,
So.
short and sweet, we like those.
Yeah, I saw the
And- and